So, at this stage, we should really look at total revenue and total cost directly, because we've said that what firms are trying to do is to maximise their abnormal profit, and we know that profit, however we define it, we've redefined total cost, of course, to include the opportunity cost, the entrepreneur's time, but profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. And so far the way we've done that is going to say, well, let's look at the firm. There's its horizontal demand line. That's average revenue, marginal revenue at 10 quid. There's blah, 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 blah. We said there's average cost. There's marginal cost. We used our and then we used our two-step process to say, firstly, we're going to find where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. We want to make all the units for which marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, and none of the units for which marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue. And we said, right, fine. So that's 100 units times a price of £10. So my total revenue is that. £1,000. We then said, you find my total cost. I'm making 100 units. My average cost is there. Not the minimum point of the average cost curve. It's where 100 intercepts with average cost there. Therefore, my profit is £1 a unit. Times 100, my total cost is 900. Total revenue 1,000, profit 100, which is fine. But sometimes we want to show total revenue and total cost directly. So all we've got to ask ourselves is, well, what are the shape of those two functions? Total cost we've done before, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But let's turn to total revenue. So we know that the firm faces this horizontal demand line, and because if it increases price above the current market price, it'll have no customers because it's selling identical products and everybody knows it and so on. And we know that it can sell each extra unit for £10, or whatever the market price is. And if it sells one more unit, then it gets an extra £10. So what does its total revenue look like at different output levels? If it sells one unit, well, it's going to get 10 quid. If it sells another unit, it gets another 10 quid. So it's going to have 20 quid. If it sells a third unit, guess what? Each unit sells for £10, is going to have 30 quid. And if it sells a 40 quid, but you get the idea. So total revenue simply looks like that. Because the firm's very small relative to the industry, relative to the size of industry. One kebab van can sell pretty much as many kebabs as they want without influencing the total overall market for kebabs. So that's total revenue. Total cost. We know what that one looks like. I'll do it. So I'll do it. I'll just get rid of this for a minute. Total cost, we know what that looks like because we did it ages ago. But as a reminder, we know that if you make no units, you still have your fixed cost to pay. So total cost starts there. Whether increasing returns the variable factor, total cost rises more slowly. Then when there are diminishing returns the variable factor, total cost rises more quickly. So it looks like that. So let's combine those on one diagram then. And so what does that mean for our firm in perfect competition? So it's only perfect competition that has this total revenue line that looks like this. When we come on to different market structures, we'll see that the total revenue looks different for them. Total revenue looks like that though. Total cost, as we said, starts there, rises more slowly. So that's total cost. Serves me right. That's total revenue. So that's not a great total cost curve, actually. On reflection, it went down, which it can't do. Okay, that'll do. So, what output is our firm going to produce? Well, it wants to maximise its profits. So it definitely isn't going to produce there. It's definitely going to want to produce 50 units because total revenue is like 500 quid and total cost is higher than that. It's not particularly going to want to produce 100 units because their total revenue equals total cost. So what it wants to do is it wants to produce where the gap between total revenue and total cost is the highest, which probably looks like about there at, say, 125 units. So there, my total revenue is, say, £1,250, if supposing we were using the original example, where price is 10 quid. My total cost is, say, 1,100 quid, and therefore the firm's profit is that distance here. It's not an area anymore. We're not multiplying price by quantity. We're just reading off that total revenue is 1,250, total cost is 1,100. Therefore, that profit there, XY, XY, or that distance, is £150. So the firm's making abnormal profit. What's going to happen in the long run? Well, we know what's going to happen to the firm is the equivalent of this diagram is we're making supernormal profit of that level there. That's 125 units. So what's going to happen in the long term is new firms are going to enter the market. And as new firms enter, what's going to happen is that the individual firm's price is reduced. How do we show a reduction in price on here? Well, here, 50 units gives me £500 because price is 10. 100 units gives me 1,000 or whatever. So if price goes down to, say, £9, what's happening is my total revenue line now looks like this. It starts to move kind of down and in. So my total revenue looks like that. And finally, it looks like that. So at each output level, the firm's total revenue is driven down until it can only just make normal profit, which is going to be around there. It's a very, very difficult diagram to draw this. So I wouldn't recommend trying it. It's the sort of thing that you'll be given to look at. If I was going to try and draw it, the way I do it probably is like this. I'd start off with a situation where we've got total revenue, we've got total cost like that. The firm is therefore making that output there, the firm's making abnormal profit. I then draw a kind of halfway diagram saying new firms enter. So at a given output level, total revenue starts to fall, TR1, TR2, TR3, and then I show in the end, in the long run, what happens is we end up with a situation where the firm can only just make normal profit, where total revenue equals total cost at Q1. So anyway, that's what total revenue and total cost look like. The firm at the top has abnormal profit. If total revenue was lower, like that, then now the firm would be making a loss because total revenue is less than total cost. And this one at the bottom shows a firm just making normal profit.